everybody? It's Alex Fischbein back in the building with another Fisch's Friday rant. And I bet you guys probably knew what this episode was going to be about, especially with the All-Star reserves being announced yesterday on NBA on TNT with Chuck, Shaq, Ernie, Kenny, and the crew. They all announced the All-Star reserves, and we got to see who was rectified from not being a starter by still being named as a reserve, and we also got to see who really is a true All-Star snub instead of just the All-Star starter snub that we've talked about before with the likes of Russell Westbrook. So, let me start off by saying, I am overall not too mad about either team. There's only like one or two slots on each team that I'm kind of mad about. But overall, like with the guards, they got the guards right for the most part. In the East, I think it is a little weird that they have like 5 point guards, I think it is, one shooting guard in DeMar DeRozan, a bunch of small forwards, and then 2 power forwards. Like, they don't have one single center in the East, where you had some good candidates for that. Now, in the West, they came out with Davis, Cousins, Marc Gasol, and DeAndre Jordan. So they got 4 centers in the West. And the East doesn't have a single one. I feel like that's a little, like, if you're going to at least, you know, you should. I'm still a proponent of the whole guard, forward, center format. I'm still a whole proponent of that because you should have at least one center on the team. Like, come on now. Not one single center when you have a good group of centers in the East, especially good group of young centers coming up. You couldn't even put Embiid, Porzingis, like one of these young guys in there. You couldn't even put, even Dwight Howard's having a good season. So you couldn't put one of these centers in, and instead we're just going to see 5 point guards go up against like whoever the West has. Now don't get me wrong, a lot of the point guards in the East do deserve to be in the All-Star game. They do. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like nothing against those guys. But to not have a single center on the team is ridiculous to me. Now, okay, so since we're on the East anyway, let's get to my one spot that I think is stupid. Paul Millsap and Kevin Love made it over Embiid. Now, I know a lot of people might say, oh, you have a bias, you're a Sixers fan. But truth of the matter is, Embiid has better stats. So I brought up something here on my side of things that is a comparison of stats between Embiid, Love, Millsap. So Embiid is averaging 19.8 points compared to Kevin Love 20 and Millsap's 18. Then you got Embiid getting 7.8 rebounds compared to Millsap's 8 and Kevin Love. Kevin Love is getting 11 rebounds. Kevin Love is a known rebounder, so that is good for him. You know what's crazy, though? We all talk about Kevin Love's passing and his outlet passes and his assists. Well, Embiid is beating both of these guys. Well, sorry, not beating Millsap, but he's beating Kevin Love in assists per game. He's beating them both in blocks per game. Millsap has the advantage in steals. He's more of a stretch four kind of guy, so he's probably covering people on the perimeter a little bit more often, getting more steals. Embiid has a better field goal percentage. Embiid has a better 3-point percentage than Millsap. He's got a better effective field goal percentage than Millsap. And so I'm not done here. Like, per 36, Embiid's at 28 points per game compared to Love at 23, Millsap at 19. Embiid's getting 11 rebounds per game per 36. He's up to 3.5 blocks per 36. And let's take that down to defensive rating. He's got the best defensive rating out of these guys. He's got 100 compared to 105 and 103. The offensive rating isn't as good as the other two. I'll give them that. When you look at box plus minus, Embiid has a better box plus minus on the Sixers compared to Kevin Love on the Cavaliers, the defending champions, and Millsap on the Hawks, who are in the mix for one of the top seeds in the East. On top of that, Embiid still has 2 win shares for a team that is near the bottom of the barrel here. Now, Love and Millsap both have around 4 win shares. I get it. They should. They have a better team. And on top of that, Embiid has a 23.9 PER compared to Love's 22 and Millsap's 18. Now, I know plenty of people will be like, oh, well, Embiid didn't play in that many games. He had to sit out, blah, blah, blah. First off, this isn't Embiid's choosing that he wants to sit out. This is a precautionary thing to make sure that he is healthy throughout his career. And personally, as a fan, I think that is a very great idea and great plan to stick to, because with a guy who's showing this much talent already in the limited minutes that he's getting, you kind of want the dude healthy. Just throwing that out there. But also to the fact that he is putting up these stats on this minute limitation, how is that not even more impressive? And so you got guys on like NBA on TNT with Shaq going, well, he's not playing that many minutes, so he's fresher. But you also look, I agree with Kenny, where if you're sitting out, if you're not in there all the time, you're not sticking to some kind of rhythm. Like, I personally, if I play 3 days in a row, I got a better rhythm. I got like my shot is down more because I know the rhythm that I have to be into. I'm more in the groove on the court. I have a better chemistry with my teammates because they know where I'm gonna be. I know where they're gonna be. So do that same thing, but I'll be off for 3 days and then play again. I am going to be way thrown off, at least for the first half of the game. And so the fact that he's in and out of the lineup all the time and still able to do all of this is, to me, honestly amazing. And then you look at Kevin Love. So, all right, Millsap's played 43 games of the season. Kevin Love has played 39 games of the season. Embiid has played 30. So, Kevin Love, yes, does have 9 more games, but in the grand scheme of things, is 9 more games really that many more? Is that so much more that it constitutes holding that against Embiid? Because I don't think it is. And now, I say all this, and I did assume that Embiid wasn't going to get in. I wanted to see him in, obviously, like any other Sixers fan. I wanted to see him get in. But I assumed the coaches would hold that kind of thing against him, and I assumed that, rookies usually don't get into the All-Star game. So I figured he wasn't going to get in, but that doesn't mean that I think he shouldn't have got in. Now, the other thing that kind of pissed me off here is, why is DeAndre Jordan in the All-Star game? When you have a guy like Rudy Gobert who has been tearing it up for Utah, and Utah has been like one of the best defensive teams in the league, and they don't have like a single superstar on this team, how are you going to pick DeAndre Jordan over Rudy Gobert? It makes no sense to me at all. Now, and this is not saying that DeAndre Jordan doesn't deserve to be in the All-Star game. This is more of an argument that Rudy Gobert deserves more so to be in the All-Star game than DeAndre Jordan. But also because we've seen a guy like Rudy Gobert constantly improving. The man is averaging 12 and 12, and granted, DeAndre Jordan is averaging 12 and 14, but Rudy Gobert is averaging more blocks, better free throw percentage, and for a big man, that's important. You got DeAndre Jordan, who's only shooting 50% from the free throw line, and on top of that, so Rudy Gobert, better offensive game. I'm just putting that out there right now. I completely believe he has a better offensive game. He's better around the rim, and he actually has a couple go-to moves that he can use. Offensive rating, both guys are 127. They're tied at 127. You go to defensive rating, Rudy Gobert's at a 98, and DeAndre Jordan's at a 101. Rudy Gobert has a better box plus minus. Rudy Gobert has almost 2 more win shares. His PER is 1 point better. His true shooting is better. I mean, what more do you want to prove that Rudy Gobert should be in this game and not DeAndre Jordan. Now, I don't have a problem with Marc Gasol. I don't have a problem with DeMarcus Cousins, Anthony Davis. But Rudy Gobert should be in this damn game. And honestly, there's not much you can say for DeAndre Jordan to that will personally make me change my mind about this. Because Rudy Gobert, no matter the criticism he gets for the people that have dunked on him, whatever it may be, has come out the next game and has elevated his level pretty much every single time. And he is the anchor to one of the best defenses in the league. Nobody expects Utah to really be that good year in and year out, especially because the leaders of their team are, especially right now, are George Hill, Gordon Hayward, Rudy Gobert. There's no superstar there. Although they are still one of the better teams in the West, and they're giving a lot of teams a run for their money. But you want to talk about DeAndre Jordan getting in over Rudy Gobert. Unforgivable. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching another episode of Fisch's Friday Rant. I will be back again next week with another one. Definitely check out our website, basketballsocietyonline.com. It's up there in the corner all the time. We're on Twitter at @bballsociety_, and I'm on Twitter at thatkidfisch, Fisch. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.